a little bit of what's been going through my life. I had a very busy day today, so I have a lot to talk about that. I went to visit a cave, which is the largest limestone cave in Portugal, and it was very cool. Like, the whole drive, we took like 1.5 hours to get there from where I live. And then I think we were the first group to arrive, or the second, I'm not sure. But when you get in, they get you to see a little video that explains how the cave was found and how the first explorers explored it, which was very dangerous, by the way. They did it with ropes and almost no light at all, so it was very whoa. Nowadays they have like stairs and built-in lights and all that stuff that makes it much more accessible. And the cave is so big that it stretches for over 11 kilometers, about 6 miles I think. And it's not fully explored yet because some of the cave tunnels are underwater, like they are submerged, and they have been exploring them like cave divers. They have been exploring them, but it's very hard. If you know, like, cave exploring is already hard. If you have to do it in the dark and underwater, it's extremely dark. Out of those like 6 miles of cave, we only went through 600 meters because that's the only part that's like walkable for people. And you go down from a set of stairs, then you see like a big cave, then you go down like a well, and you see an even bigger cave with an underwater river, which is incredible. And you see all those stalactites and stalagmites forming from thousands of years now. They are incredible. In the end, you get to a lake that has formed, and you then return to the surface via an elevator that has now been built. And yeah, then we got back and we bought some souvenirs. And since I'm a very like spur of the moment explorer, that was like the only thing I had planned. I had said to a friend of mine, oh, let's go see this cave and then we'll see what we do. And we did that like in the morning, and we were out of the cave at 11. But we then said, oh, let's go to another place that has this very cool monastery, which is called the Batalha Monastery. And we went there and we had lunch in a pizzeria that served. And we went there and we had lunch in a pizzeria that has these huge pizzas. I mean, like, they were huge. Imagine like your normal small pizza. No, your normal like large pizza. It's their small pizza. And they had like familiar, like family size pizzas, which were absolutely huge. I ate the small one and I was full to the brim. I couldn't eat anything else. And we then went to visit the monastery, which was very cool. And this also was a good surprise, because we found out that a new measure the government had implemented was already working, which was every Portuguese citizen gets 52 free visits on government like controlled monuments. And it turned out that monastery Congress at the main cathedral or the main church, and then you go and see the other parts of the monastery, which are also very cool. And we almost by accident got into a congress of some sorts because we were trying to visit a part of the monastery which was also being used to host a congress. And when we got in, they asked us like, "Oh, are you here for the congress?" And we were like, "What? No, we're just here to check out the cloister or something." And they said, "Oh, just go in and give your names." And we're like, "What? What is happening?" But we didn't get into the congress, and yeah, it was fun. That monastery also has the tombs of some past kings of Portugal, and they are like so intricately built. It's incredible. And then at the end, we visited and finished like a chapel that was being built but never got finished, and it's absolutely incredible what they built so far. But it's a shame that they haven't finished it, because I think it would have been amazing had they finished that. I hope they do in the future. We'll see. After we visited the monastery, we went to another place which had a castle, and we visited that castle, which is one of the oldest castles in Portugal. It's like 800 or something, no more, like 900 years or something. And the entire castle has been remodeled by previous kings, so some sections are like 500 years old, others are like 400, but the main castle and the first thing built is like 900 years old. And it's amazing to step on a place that people that were alive 900 years ago stepped on, and they built that, and I was walking through it. And another thing that was very fun that happened was on that castle they had like a church inside that was built, and when we got inside that church there was a photo shoot happening, and I stepped in and I looked to the left and I saw like this model dressed as a tiefling, like a demonic tiefling, and she was posing and taking pictures for Halloween. There was going to be an Halloween like event, and they were taking pictures, and I was like, what is happening here? But they then said like, oh, you can come in, we're just taking pictures, but you can still visit. So, and then I spoke to some of them and I asked like, oh, is this for an event? And they said, oh yeah, we're doing a photo shoot for Halloween and we're going to put this on our page. So it was very fun. Their dresses and like their costumes were amazing, and the pictures they were taking were very fun. After we left that castle, we were like, oh, we are very close to one of Portugal's most famous places, which is Nazaré. Nazaré is famous for having the biggest wave in the world. And if you know Garrett McNamara, he became famous for surfing Nazaré's biggest wave. And yeah, we went there. And even though we are not in the season of the big waves, because there's a season for it, we still got to see some incredibly big waves. And yeah, and then we returned, and it was basically it. What started as just a visit to a cave ended up as a huge visit to a cave, a monastery, a castle, and a village. And yeah, it was very fun. I love doing these impromptu trips. I love just going and see where it takes me. I think it's the most fun type of trips, at least for me. It was also very fun because we were like using my phone as GPS, and throughout the I had forgotten my charger, so we had to stop by a shopping and buy a cable to charge my phone. But it turned out that cable was not very good. So that cable was only like able to transfer enough energy to my phone to keep it from not losing battery. So my phone was like stuck on 20% battery while running the GPS and Spotify to play some music. It was incredible. I am very happy. I'm also very tired, and I am now, as I'm recording this, applying ice to my left foot because I have an injury on my foot, and walking too much makes my foot hurt, and also using the clutch on my car makes it hurt. So yeah, it's not good for that either. But nonetheless, it was very fun, and yeah, I cannot wait to do another one of these. Like, this was completely unplanned. Like 2 days ago, I said to myself, and I was like, yeah, I want to go to this cave. And then I was trying to convince people to go with me, and nobody wanted to go. And I'm used to it because I always do these like impromptu things. And then at the last minute, I got someone to go with me, which was great, and we had a great time. So yeah, I think that was it. I'm sorry I do not have anything better for this week's video, but it's been an incredibly busy week and weekend, and tomorrow is going to be busy as well. So I hope and I'm sure that next week I will have a much better video. Stay tuned for that one. And so I will see you next week for another video. And until then, I want you to relax.